Hi everybody, it's Marianne again, and welcome to another episode of Gastro Soul. So, as much as I hate to say goodbye to summer, fall is here, and one of the good things about fall is it actually is the season for one of my favorite ingredients, which are figs. So, one great thing I love about figs is it really lends itself to lots of both sweet and savory preparations. So I'm going to do savory today. So we're going to do duck breasts with figs. So let's start off by taking a look at our ingredients today. So I've got 2 whole duck breasts that are deboned. I have 2 tablespoons of honey, 2 tablespoons of sherry vinegar, 2 tablespoons of balsamic vinegar, salt, pepper, 1 chopped onion, and about a dozen figs. Okay. So the first thing we're going to do is prepare the duck breasts. Now, starting on the skin side, I'm just going to score into the skin and try not to get so much into the flesh, but just into that, it's got a nice big fatty layer here. So we just want to cut into the fat and not too much into the flesh itself. So I'm going to score it this way, crisscross. All right. I'm going to do the same for the second one. So you see this fatty layer? Ducks have a lot of fat that we are going to be rendering. And the reason why is that ducks they're waterfowl, and so they really need that extra layer of padding of fat to keep them buoyant. So their natural state of fattiness is a really great benefit for us culinarily, because there is such tasty duck fat. So let's go ahead and mix our little marinade, because this is there's the honey and the sherry vinegar and the pepper and salt. Just mix those together. So now I'm just going to put the duck into a non-reactive bowl or a dish. Okay. Alright, just rub that really well together, and we're going to let that marinate for about 10 minutes. Alright, so now that our duck breasts have marinated, I'm just going to split them in half, because actually the 1 duck breast makes 2 servings. So I'm going to just split these in half. Okay. So the really important thing to remember about duck breast and duck fat is that there's just so much of it. So what I want to do is really trim off as much excess fat as I possibly can. You see all that. Look at how much fat we've got here. Look at that. It's just so much that when this renders, you're going to have an enormous amount of duck fat, which is great because that's fantastic for cooking and grilling, and I'm actually going to be roasting potatoes in this. So you might think that that's a lot of fat to get rid of, but actually this is plenty to cook the breast itself. So this is all I really need in order to cook the breast. Okay, so I've trimmed off a lot of the fat from the breasts. So I'm going to put the skin side down. And you're going to be absolutely amazed at how much fat is going to be rendered from these breasts. So I'm going to turn that down to like a medium low. Okay, and again, this is a recipe that sounds super fancy, duck breast with fig and balsamic reduction, but it is so easy. So here's the second part of our of this dish. I am going to just split the figs in half. Yeah, so look and see how much fat has been rendered with just that little bit that was left over. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to take some of that and put it into another pan. Here's skillet. It's about 3 tablespoons. All right. Just cover that well. I'm going to put in my chopped onions. And we'll just stir these until they become translucent. All right, so now our onions are nice and translucent. And I have split my figs in half. Just going to add them to the pan. Give this a good stir. And while these are cooking, I'm going to stir every once in a while. I think our duck breasts are actually ready now because they've reached an internal temperature of at least 130 degrees. I'm going to put these on a cutting board and let them just rest for a second before we cut them and dress them with the fig sauce. Alright, so I'm stirring these up. The figs are nice and warm. These have been going for a good, 8 minutes or so. And once it's reached that stage, I'm going to go ahead and add my balsamic vinegar. 2 tablespoons of balsamic. And just let it reduce just a little bit. And then turn it off. So while we're waiting for the duck to cool a little bit, to rest a little bit before we cut into it, the sauce is ready. But I have already boiled some potatoes and just cut them up, and I'm going to just go ahead and fry them in that original duck fat. And just get them nice and brown and toasty. And that's going to be a great side dish for the duck breast. We're now ready to sauce it. I've cut these on the bias, but I wish you could be here to smell just that wonderful figgy balsamic reduction. It's just absolutely gorgeous. So now we have our finished dish of duck breast with the fig and balsamic reduction. It's absolutely gorgeous and absolutely beautiful. I can't wait to dig in. And we've got our potatoes here that we've also fried in the duck fat. So again, 2 of my favorite ingredients, duck breast and figs. See you next time on another episode of Gastro Soul.